Hello everybody, my name is Mark. Welcome to another one of my videos and back to doing a video on investing. And in this video I'm going to talk about how do you use option Greeks to calculate calendar spread profit and risk. So without further ado, let's get started. And this is Bank of America stock, and this is my money. This is what I've got going on right now in my margin account, and you can see right there on the left I have 5 contracts call options. Those I underlined it in red expire not till 2019 January 18th, and then the ones on the right you can see those ones expire November 17, 2017 at the $27 strike price. That's in 15 days from now. And I circled there, you can see on the right it shows a -5, and on the left it shows a +5. And the reason why it has a little minus sign is because I sold to open those 5 contracts. And that's the whole key of a calendar call spread. You buy 5 contracts and you sell 5 contracts. You pick the same strike price. You don't have to pick the same strike price. You can pick different ones, but generally people like to pick the same strike price, but you choose 2 different expiration days. And usually you buy long term and you sell short term. You can do it the other way around. That's known as a short calendar call spread, but I don't do that. I do the long. I do it the normal way, buy long and sell short. A lot of investors, they like to buy call options. They maybe expire in 2 months and then they sell the ones that expire in 1 month, but I think that's a little bit too hard. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. I much prefer the long term. That way I have time to recover just in case things go screwball on me, and I can hold and I can continue to sell call options month after month until the stock comes back. But anyways, this is my calendar call spread that I got going on. So in this video I'm going to treat you like you're a beginner. You have no idea what is an option Greek, how to look it up. You may have experience, but I'm going to act like you don't, and I'm going to go through this step by step. So I want to look up the option Greeks on those call options that I just showed you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the option chain with my mouse. I click on that and this comes up, and then the next thing I do is I click on that little arrow on my drop down box. This comes up, and then I click on that right there where I yellowed it, Greeks Analytical. That's the option Greek. And then that comes up, and then I'm going to click the view chain button, and then this comes up. Now I'm ready to look up my call options. So the first thing I'm going to do, these are the option Greeks, okay? And you can see there are several of them. The first one is implied volatility. The second one, theo value, that stands for theoretical value. The third one, that's called delta. The fourth one is gamma. The fifth one's theta. The sixth one, vega. And the seventh one is RHO. And when you're doing calendar call spread, there's really only 2 of these options that you really need to worry about, and it's those 2 right there, the delta and the theta. And I'm going to explain what those are in a minute here. So again, this is my position right here, and I want to look those up. So I yellowed it right there. I'm going to look this one up first. That's going to be the first call options that I'm going to look up, and you can see it says January 18, 2019. Those are my long term. So I click on that, and there you go. You can see I highlighted 442 days until expiration. Today is November 2nd, 2017, and those don't expire all the way out till January 18, 2019. Now I bought 5 $27 strike price, so those are the ones I want to look at, and there's the delta and there's the theta. You can see the delta is 0.587, the theta is -0.003. I will explain those in a minute. And then the next thing I do is I'm going to look at the ones that I sold. These are the short-term ones, and there it is highlighted, November 17, 2017. I'm going to click my mouse on that, and this comes up, and there you see highlighted 15 days until expiration. And I'm going to look at those $27 strike prices, and there you have it. The delta shows 0.772 and the theta shows -0.012. So here I put it out on a nice neat slide so you don't have to try to remember that. On the left are the $27 calls that I bought, put the expiration January 18, 2019, listed the delta 0.587 and the theta -0.003, and on the right are the ones that I sold. It expires in 15 days, delta being 0.772, theta being -0.012. And now finally explain what those mean. Okay, what is delta? Delta is option Greek, and that's a value that measures how much will the value of the stock option, or in other words the premium, go up or down dollar for dollar as the stock goes up or down. And theta, that stands for time decay. That's the cost of owning leverage. You can't just buy stock options. There's always I've always used life insurance as an analogy. When you buy life insurance, you have to pay a premium, and that's always the analogy I use. But just know that theta is time decay, and you have to pay a little bit of money to own all that leverage. How much will the value of the stock option lose on a daily basis? You cannot make money in time. You always lose. Okay, that's why it pays to be an option seller. You make money on theta. Okay, so that's delta and that's theta. Those are the two options. Those are the two option Greeks that you need to worry about the most when you're doing calendar call spreads. Now, understanding delta. If delta is at 0.587, ring a bell there, then the value of the option will go up or down $58.70 for every dollar stock goes up or down. If the delta is 0.772, the option will go up or down $77.20 for every dollar stock goes up or down. Now theta, if the theta is negative 0.012, and in case you haven't noticed, I'm using the values that I found in my option Greeks when I looked those up, then the value of the stock option will lose $1.20 on a daily basis. And if theta is negative 0.003, the value of the option will go down less than $1 a day. It will take 4 days for my stock options to lose $1.20 of value, and that's important to understand. You'll see why here in a minute. Okay, so again, here it is. The $27 calls are on the left. Those are the ones that I bought, expire all the way out 2019. Put the delta and the theta there, and then the ones on the right are the ones I sold. Delta and the theta are listed there, 77 and negative 0.012. And now, using delta to calculate how much money that I can make or lose. Okay, so number one, I bought 5 call options, Bank of America, at a delta of 0.587. Number two, I sold 5 Bank of America call options at a delta of 0.772. What does that mean? That means that if Bank of America goes up $1, I will lose $92.50 in value in my stock options. Why is that? Reason, because the ones that I sold have a higher delta than the ones that I bought. Okay, and when you are an option seller, it's kind of like short selling a stock. Okay, that means when the stock goes up, you lose money. Normally you buy low and sell high, but as an option seller, I am selling, I want to sell high and then buy it back at a cheaper price. Getting a little tongue-tied there. But in this case, because they're call options are buy contracts. So that means that buying call options is the same thing. Of course, the extra time decay or the premium, it's the same thing as buying the stock. So if I'm a stock seller, then I am short selling the stock. So I put the numbers in there, I put the math. So I take the $77.20 and I subtract the $58.70 and I get $19.50, and I did 5 of them. So $19.50 times 5 equals $92.50. That's how much money I would lose if it went up. So really, based on that value, I'd want it to go down. And this is where option Greeks kind of fail. They don't work very well. If you go strictly by those option Greek numbers, then the math says that if B of A goes down $1, I will make $92.50, but that is not true, and I'll tell you why. Reason is because if the stock goes up or down, those delta values will change as the stock goes up or down, and there's another option Greek known as gamma, and that measures the change in delta as the stock goes up or down $1, and delta doesn't work hardly at all if the stock goes below the strike price of the call option, because what happens to call options when they go out of the money? They become worth almost nothing. Okay, and the further down or the further out of the money the options goes, the less well do those option Greeks work. They don't work hardly at all. Okay, so here I circled the gamma. So if you look at this gamma, that's how much the delta will change. And again, you're going to see another big failure of trying to use these option Greeks to calculate profits or risk for these calendar call spreads. But you see the gamma says 0.247. So that means if the B of A goes up $1, then delta will go up $24 or 24 cents and 70. But if you add those two together, you take that $77, you take that 0.772 delta and you add that gamma 0.247, and you're going to get $102, and that is not possible. You cannot have a delta higher than 99 cents. The delta has to be between 0 and 1. It cannot go above $1. It wouldn't make any sense for the stock to go up $1, but the call option to go up $1.01. I mean, that's kind of crazy, right? I mean, if that were to really happen, everybody would be buying call options, right? But that's never going to happen. The delta has to be between 0 and 1. So option Greeks have their failures. But now let's move on to Theta here. And already I hope you're getting a feeling that option Greeks are not perfect. They're kind of a guide. That's one of the things that I want to point out. But it can be fun, and they're semi-helpful, I think. But this is Theta, okay? Now, I bought 5 call options at a Theta of negative 0.003. I sold 5 call options at a Theta of negative 0.012. What does that mean? That means every day between now and November 17th, 2017, I will make $4.50. Okay, that's because I take that point, and I probably should have put this out in black and white here on a slide, but I'll explain it. But the reason is because I would take that 0.012, subtract the 0.003, and I get 0.009, and I multiply that by 5. 0.009 times 5 is 0.045, and that's $4.50 per day. But there is a much more simple way of doing this than trying to look at this Theta and going through all of that. And what I do is I look at the price of the stock at the closing bell, and today being November the 2nd, the closing bell price was, I circled there in red, $27.87. Then I take the price of my 5 call contracts that I sold to open, and you can see the bid. I circled it there, down there. The bid is $1.02. The ask is $1.04. So I say $1.03. And then I go through this. I take the 5 call options at the $27 strike price at $1.03 per contract. I take that, and number 2 there, I take the $27, add that $1.03, and I get $28.03. Bank of America, number 3 there, Bank of America was $27.87 at the closing bell. So I take number 4 there, I take $28.03, subtract the $27.87, and I get $16 per contract. I sold the 5 call options at $16, or I'm sorry, I sold those 5 call options, so I take the $16, multiply it by the 5, and I stand to make $80 between now and November 17th. That, in my opinion, is an easier way to calculate how much money that I could make instead of going by Theta, because those, as you just saw, those option Greeks change all the time as the stocks go up and down. So option Greeks have their limitations as you're using them. Okay, so that's my money, that's the position that I'm doing, and that's a little intro in how to use those option Greeks. So here are some final thoughts that I have on using the option Greeks to calculate profit and risk on your calendar call spread. Number 1, it's really impossible to know exactly how much money you could make on a calendar call spread for all the reasons that you just saw. Those there's so many variables, and those option Greeks are always changing. Option Greeks are not a perfect way to measure profit or risk. There is easier ways to do it, and I usually do it the easier ways, but I do enjoy looking at the option Greeks on a day-by-day basis just for fun. And you probably do not need to understand option Greeks to make money with calendar call spreads. I really believe in keeping it simple, or as I got in parentheses, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. But there are people out there I know that make a whole career out of understanding option Greeks and knowing the ins and the outs and the nuts and the bolts. But I believe in keeping it simple. I'll probably at some point do a video on some simpler ways to calculate profit and risk. They're way easier than trying to know all this option Greek stuff. But learning option Greeks, it doesn't hurt, and they're really not that difficult to understand. Delta, that's how much calls, and put options too, go up or down $1. as the stock goes up or down a dollar. And the theta, that's time decay. How much money is your stock option gonna lose money on a day-by-day basis? Which is why I'm a believer in being an option seller. I don't believe in just buying stock options. When I buy stock options, I like to sell them, whether I'm doing a calendar call spread or I'm doing just a straight out credit put spread or a credit call spread. That's what I believe. Because of that theta, I think in the long run the theta eats into your profits, not to mention commissions. And I know Ameritrade, they charge 75 cents a contract, so there's all those costs. So you might as well be an option seller. It's like being, would you rather be a landlord or would you rather be a renter? For me, I'd rather be a landlord and sell the options. So anyways, that's, I have a very average knowledge of stock options. I'm not an expert by any means, but this I think is a good basic introduction into option Greeks and how to use those to calculate your profit and your risk on calendar call spreads. So that's it for this video. As always, if you have any questions on anything that I may have said that maybe I didn't explain clear enough or whatever, feel free to leave in the comments section. And thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you again in another video.